Well, welcome to Thoughts Can Change Your Life with me, Reverend Lee. We're here each and every day as we explore life together, as we take this journey of life together. And I love the idea of the word together because what it says is that community is really important. I don't care who you are. I don't care what you know. I don't care how much you've taught. I don't care how much you've experienced. Community is critical. Isolation and depression often go hand in hand. One of the fundamental needs that we have is to find a community that accepts us so that we can feel like we belong to something that supports us, that nourishes us, that lets us be ourselves. And that's one of the things I think that COVID did is it knocked people out of community. People became isolated and they thought they could do everything on their own. And they don't realize that it's so much easier to be with others of like mind, to be reminded of their truth, to be held accountable for their authenticity. When you start to really start to understand that community is critical in that process. Now, that can be a community in person, it can be a virtual community, but you got to feel a part. So, for example, some of you follow this podcast every single day. So you feel a part of Agape, but that's one level of connection. There are other levels of connection. Like yesterday, we had our Agape gatherings. Our Agape gathering at 1:30 in the afternoon, we had 16 people on Zoom talking to each other, sharing with each other, reminding each other of truth. And last night, we had another 12 people. So what we're doing is we're creating a community virtually and in person. But here's a key thing. You can't force anyone into community. They have to make that choice for themselves. And in order for them to make the choice, how do I say this? They've got to feel worthy. They've got to feel worthy, and they've got to have a desire to connect. Most people start, because they've had bad experiences in communities, think that all communities are that way. Rest assured, it's not true. Just like a relationship. If you've been in many relationships, you think that all men or all women are going to be a certain way. No, they're not. There are people out there that are a vibrational match to you, whether it's a relationship of intimacy or it's a relationship of being in community. Olivia says, how do I feel worthy? Start feeling worthy of community. Join one. Find one. If you like what's going on here, plug in. No matter where you live, we've got events all over the place online. Here's the best way. Plug into one of the classes at Agape. You will be with like-minded people on Zoom from all over the world, and you will be learning and going deeper into your own spirituality. Perfect segue into that. If you go to Agape Spiritual Center, you'll find the two classes we're starting next Monday and next Tuesday. One is Spiritual Foundations, 10 weeks, and one is the 7 Spiritual Laws of Success by Deepak Chopra. So if you're interested, sign up for a class. It's a well worth investment of time and money. I can't say that enough. Because what I find is that the more I'm in classes, whether I'm participating or teaching, the deeper I go into my own ideas, my own beliefs. So I'm not just giving classes, I go to classes as well because I understand their value. I feel nourished. I feel connected. I'm reminded at a deeper level because today I'm a different person I was when I did this class the last time or the last class. I'm always a different person. Yeah, Linda's going to join us, and she's done foundations before, but she's going to get to do it in a different way. She's going to get to do it the Agape way at that. And every time I teach a class, it's never the same because I'm a different consciousness, and the people taking the class are a different consciousness. Community. Here's one thing that keeps us out of a community. We're a part of one, and guess what? We stop going to for a while, and we're embarrassed to go back. What? do we think about ourselves that we're not worthy of people accepting us as we are? Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Connect. Carly says, what book do you recommend for adjusting beliefs about money? Spiritual Economics by Eric Butterworth is a good one. I love the book, The Millionaire Mind by T. Harv Eker. I think that's a great book. And that's where I'll leave it at this time. I've taught classes on both of them. One is Spiritual Economics by Butterworth. More spiritual, got some Bible base in it. Millionaire Mind, very practical. Very practical. Gives you very practical ideas. Easy book to read. Easy book to read. Yeah, when you're online, Corey, and you're in classes, you connect with other people. There's no question. It happens. I see it all the time. But let's get back to this idea. Haven't gone for a while. I feel embarrassed to go back. Don't ever feel embarrassed to do anything, folks. If you feel embarrassed going back into something and that is affirmed that you're made to feel guilty in that group, wrong group. If it's the right group, what happens is you are welcome back. You're welcome back with no explanation necessary because that group understands love, and love means acceptance. Love means non-judgment. You want to be in a group that doesn't judge, that loves, that accepts you as you are. Yeah, Wallace Wattles has God, I'm trying to think. The Science of Getting Rich. That's another good book. Thanks, Linda. The Science of Getting Rich by Wallace Wattles. From a metaphysical standpoint, I like that book the best. Of the three, from a metaphysical standpoint, I love Wallace Wattles' way of saying it the best. Thank you, Linda. See, this is why you're in community. I forgot about that. And then Linda, because she's a part of the community, reminded me. You see how it's so easy to forget this stuff. So easy. Our ego just forgets. We don't know why, but it does. The other thing is, it's great to feel plugged in. It's great to feel to be a part of something. I know people say to me, well, Lee, you're such an extrovert. Well, that's the only part of me you're seeing. But in reality, I've learned and I've changed and I've become an ambivert. In other words, I like being alone as much as I like being with people. I like having the balance. Most of my day, I'm in silence with myself, doing what I'm doing. But when it's time for me to be connected with you, either virtually or in person, I'm engaged. I just let Lee's personality go. But here's the key thing. Whether you're silent or whether you're engaged in person, be your authentic self. Because if you can't be your authentic self, you're denying you. You're denying your uniqueness. And your uniqueness is what makes you special. Do you get that? I, for a long time, tried to change my wife to becoming something different. Then I realized I didn't marry her for her to be different. I married her to grow, to share, to have fun with, to support me, to support her. And in order to effectively do that, I had to let go of any idea that I control or I can change her. Boy, is that freeing. Is that freeing? Reconnecting is always a joyful experience. And you'll know it because you'll feel it in your heart. The key thing to ask is my heart open or is my heart closed? Many of us have allowed things that have said to hurt us. We've taken things personally, which we should never do, but we do. And when we take things personally and we feel hurt, we back away. We back away. We back away, and we become isolated. The more isolated we become, the more depressed we become. We also, because we were hurt once, we become anxious about gatherings. Put it aside. You're meant to connect. In fact, here's why you're meant to connect. You're already connected because the infinite created everything out of itself. You are an individualization, a unique individualization of it. So is everyone else on the planet. Ergo, you're already connected to everyone else at the soul, at the infinite level. You will always be connected to everyone else. In the human level, it's different because we have egos, we have bodies, but there are people out there that are vibrating just like you. And when you hang with them, you feel good, especially when you get to be you. And that you can be outgoing, that you could be funny, that you could be serious, that you could be quiet, that you could be anything. It's you. Here's the key thing today. Be you with everyone you meet. I think that's a good way to end the talk today. Know that classes start Monday, Tuesday. You can go to agapespiritualcenter.com, sign up, love it. Otherwise, you can join me for meditation in the mornings, 7 a.m. Central Time on Zoom. Get all the info at agapespiritualcenter.com. But most of all, know that wherever you are, whatever you're doing, if I was witnessing you, I would accept you as you are because I love you. Make it a great day, everyone. Aloha.